I wanted to bring a couple of advisors on stage that I respect and work with pretty closely that have built amazing practices and talk through kind of what their benchmarking practices looks like. So I'd like to bring on stage Larry Witzel and Basam Malik, please. Thanks, guys. How are you doing? Ooh, these chairs are even comfier than I thought they'd be.
Comfortable.
Very nice. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for taking the time to join me on stage. Like I mentioned, you two are some of the best RPAG advisors that I've had a chance to work with. So today, I wanted to ask you a couple questions in front of our lovely audience here to talk through how your practice operates in terms of RFP and fee benchmarking analysis. So let's first start off with some introductions here. Basam, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about your practice and your firm.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. And I work at Raymond, and we're a Michigan-based organization with offices down in Florida as well as Ohio. And we're a professional advisory firm. So we carry the breadth of services to encompass accounting, assurance work, technology solutions, onboarding, outsourcing, wealth management services, as well as retirement plans. So that's kind of our initiative started off as an accounting firm, and from there we built on with all the other advisory services attached on to provide wholesome solutions for our clients.
Awesome. Larry?
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Just relative to our firm, and I say our firm, I'm here with the other partner in the firm, Burt McClintock, but I got started in this business back in 1990. We're now 16 people strong, 7 advisors, counting Burt and myself, 2 account executives that focus just on working with our qualified retirement plans. Basically our focus is all on retirement. So between individual wealth management, qualified retirement plans, that fills our day on a regular basis. Eastern Iowa is home base, so Cedar Rapids, fairly tight geographic area in terms of our client headquarters.
Excellent, excellent. So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring both these gentlemen on stage here is because their firms operate in a slightly different capacity. Basam and his firm are incredibly multifaceted and really do everything that you can think of in terms of financial services. And Larry and his team really focus on retirement and are true retirement plan specialists. So in terms of analyzing a retirement plan, and Basam, we'll start with you again, and we'll talk about this through the lens of analyzing a prospect. Kind of take us through the steps that you all take in terms of receiving prospects' information and then how you analyze that information and then present it to that prospect.
Absolutely. So a lot of, as I said, so our initially, we start up as an accounting firm, so a lot of our clientele and base is our accounting internal clients. So we've got a base of 20,000 plus clients. So most of the prospects that we work with are internally from within Raymond itself, because our clients are looking for that one-shop stop experience instead of hiring out all the different facets of their managing the business. We provide them solutions to keep it all in-house as much as possible. So majority of our contacts, prospects are going to be warm contacts. So with that, typically it will lead from our process starts with, if there's a need, having a discussion with the client and really setting the stage for what are your pain points. Why are you if you're already existing retirement plan sponsor, what are your pain points? What are the needs that you're looking to fulfill, or your demographics have changed, your industry has changed? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? And from there, work with our accounting partners and internal divisions to make sure that we can provide a solution that fits their need and customize that solution. It's not an off-the-shelf solution. It's a customized solution to fit whatever their pain points and needs would be. From outside referrals, from prospects on that, again, it starts with establishing the relationship on what is their need? What do they need? Is it a startup plan that they're looking for? Or are they going through mergers? What their needs are, and from there, devise a plan to attack that. Our whole purpose is to provide a wholesome solution that meets not only their immediate needs, of where they're experiencing, but also going forward into the future and anticipate that so that we are coming in as a consultant rather than just an advisor. We want to have that seat at their table as a consultant going forward as well.
Amazing. Larry, same question to you as well.
You bet. From that perspective, as we're looking at bringing on new clients, I'm going to come back to some of the things that Basam said already, but it really starts with just that interview in terms of finding out where they're at right now. Try and dig in a little bit into the culture of the firm itself. We found that our best retirement plan clients are the ones where we can line up culturally. They care about their participants. They want to make things better. And ultimately, we also pride ourselves on process. It's one of the things we love about RPAG. So we're going to bring to the table a dedicated process to take care of them and their participants throughout the year. So as we start looking at, how do we get there, it's going to be everything from the client service experience, the participant education. I don't know that I referenced it earlier, but around 12, 13,000 participants around the country, and we do all our own education. So we think it's important to put licensed, credentialed, experienced advisors in front of participants so they can, quite frankly, take those participants from where they're at now all the way to and through retirement. So that's critical to our whole process. And then ultimately, when it comes to diving in and rolling up our sleeves, we take all that information from the fact finder and then start trying to find that right fit, everything that you were just talking about relative to who's the right record keeper, what's the fee structure look like, and how are we going to be able to deliver that.
So a really heavy emphasis, Larry, from your team, and Basam, I heard some things as well from you, of working directly with participants, not getting caught up so much on the plan level, but really having the participant in mind and getting them to and through retirement. That really strikes deeply with me. Heavy emphasis on financial wellness. It seems like that's a burgeoning topic in our industry over the last few years, is cracking that financial wellness code and how best to efficiently service participants, whether it's through services like WellSense or our new partners here at RPAG at Venrollment, and communicating with participants that way. And a very effective way to do that, to kind of get to that grassroots level and affect participants. Larry, a little bit of a continuation on that question. What kind of resources and reporting do you all utilize during that process to analyze the plans?
Yeah. Again, I would bring it back in terms of resources and what we're utilizing. We rely so heavily on RPAG for the tools that you've got. So, if it's new prospect, we're going to go through the whole fee benchmarking process, and we like to illustrate that really in a couple different ways. So, we're going to do it once as open architecture, and look at multiple record keepers versus the incumbent on an open architecture basis, and literally levelize the investment fees, levelize the advisor fees across those different record keepers, so we can really see what's their open arc fee. Okay, but then we're also going to do it one more time with what's their best effort relative to the levers that they may want to pull in regard to target date mapping, what guaranteed interest account option they may want to use, or stable value, any of those things that can give them their best foot forward. So we like to dissect both of those for the plan sponsor to really let them identify how some of those things work. And we found it's been a pretty eye-opening exercise for a lot of plan sponsors as they work through that.
Basam, what about you and your firm?
I think I'll piggyback on what Larry was saying, because I think there's a lot of crossover between how Larry mentioned going out to the process of figuring out what is the need. Ours is very similar to that, where we want to make sure that first of all, start at the highest tier is interviewing the plan sponsor and making sure, do they understand what it means to be a fiduciary? From there, and more often than not, it's well, I've heard of it, but I don't know what that means. Great, so now we've made a mental note of, all right, we need to go through the fiduciary modules and make that part of our service plan going forward. So we're already making notes of that. One of the additional items that we ask anytime we sit down in front of a prospect or even a client that we're bringing up to speed is, can we have a copy of your meeting minutes? And that becomes key, because right off the bat, majority of the plans that we come across, they don't have meeting minutes. So that shows us that they have a deficiency that really they need to overcome and put something in place for that. So we started during the interview process on that, and then as we go through the proposals, we do, as Larry mentioned, we want to make sure that we not only they're incumbent, but all the other record keepers that we're looking at from a plan design perspective as the best fit for a record keeper. We're doing apples to apples comparison on that in regards of fees, not only from the investment side, but also from the advisory side. We also provide TPA services in-house as well. So, we always have the ability to look at not only bundled, but also unbundled solutions for that prospect per se. And again, thanks for bringing up enrollment. That is a heavy reliance on our partnership with RPAG. And I know you and I spoke about that, and we had that introduction with enrollment to where we've already signed contract and rolled that out with a couple of committee members with a couple of our plans. And that hit the sweet spot with them to where we know we have solidified the relationship because there was such a need for them for a turnkey Spanish solution on their education. So we were able to provide that. So again, leverage partnerships with RPAG. Along with that, all the tools that are provided behind the scenes. Plan fees is a big one where we're able to use that as a benchmarking tool. And believe it or not, I think we took a poll over here. Most prospects, if we looked out and went out and did a plan or asked them if they've done a benchmark recently, a lot of the legacy plans will not have done that. So that's a huge benefit to leverage that tool.
It's amazing something as simple as meeting minutes, an executive summary of past decisions are some things that plans are deficient in, right? And that's where those little areas of weakness that a plan has is where ourselves in the RPAG community can really come in and provide a structure to their retirement plan and taking that kind of consultative approach. And I know that both of you work with hundreds of plans, and so creating these processes and having your different steps that you take when you're going into these client and prospects meetings make things a lot easier for you and your teams. Because I know both of you are working with hundreds and hundreds of team members. Larry, I know you mentioned you're 16 people strong and servicing a couple hundred plans really, really well. So I think it's important that we all remember to leverage that technology that's available to us to increase our efficiencies and our scalabilities. With the last couple minutes that we have here, gentlemen, I was hoping that both of you could give just a quick hitter for our audience to take away, maybe something to think about in terms of their fee benchmarking process, whether it comes to clients and prospects. Basam, I'll start with you.
Real quick on this, so the video that Matt just played at the previous session over here really hit home with me. So I'm a biochemist and a geneticist by trade, and I love retirement plans, right? So that thinking in my mind has always been coming into this industry has been why, right? So it's always been based on process control, understanding the process and building that for scalability, for easy deployment, as well as efficiently leveraging the tools. RPAG provides that in there. So if you don't have a process, definitely develop that. Use the expertise with our trusted partners and over here that throughout the firm, the conference over here, as well as RPAG. Leverage them, ask them questions to help develop those systems and how to use the tools that are available out here. We manage over close to 300 plans and over $1 billion assets under supervision. So scalability and process control is key, and that's where leaning on partners is massively important.
So, Larry?
You bet. A couple quick hitters to your point. One's just to tag on to what Basam said about meeting minutes. So many prospects really don't have those out there. So after every one of our finalist presentations, our follow-up correspondence is in the form of meeting minutes. It just helps hammer home, here's what we do and how we do it. The other component when we talk about scalability, efficiency, it's not just relative to prospecting, it is relative to client retention. And because we're doing, literally, I want to say about 25 to 30 PRISM plan fees every quarter, and putting those in front of our clients, we feel like that's just been a tremendous way to play defense so that when they do get that phone call from somebody else to talk about fees and expenses, they can already check a box and say, hey, we're already in the top decile, we got things covered, we know how that works.
And I think, Larry, you hit a key point on that, is retention is massive because at this juncture in the industry, everyone's going for the lowest fees. Our approach is different in providing that value to where, yep, you can go elsewhere for a lower fee, but what are you missing in doing so? And whether you're able to get the appropriate service and the level that you need for your business and where your plans are and your participants.
Spot on.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Well, I appreciate the both of you joining me here on stage. I hope you all as audience members listen to them as closely as I do. These are two gentlemen and their colleagues that I rely on heavily to find out what's going on in the industry. So thank you all. Thank you both again for your time, and everyone enjoy the rest of your conference. Thanks again.